the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Hey guys, welcome to the LG Ultragear presents Tec Gauntlet Season 3 powered by Crucial. Our apparel partner is 6x6, accessories partner is Cosmic Byte, and our esports partner is Aimlab. We've already witnessed one very long, very sweaty and difficult game, and now we have another game which might just be long and difficult ahead of us. We have Team Exploit going up against VR Esports, and both these teams are in quite a bit of danger because this is the elimination match.
Honestly speaking, Exploit versus Team Weird is something that we didn't really expect. Initially, Trippers versus Exploit. Tell me honestly, Crips, did you expect Team Exploit to lose?
No, I
No
thought they
one
would win
did.
2-0.
They would have won 2-0, but True Rippers, they were just backhanding them over and over again. Paradox is like, yo, I won the #1 MVP spot. Like, Deathmaker stole it away from me. There's no way I'm going to be giving that up. And that drive and that passion just pushed the entirety of True Rippers forward, just being able to take a 1-up against Team Exploit, take them down on a 2-1 scoreline. And now that they are here at this stage, Crips, Team Exploit, they're going to be really unhappy about all of this. But for now, before we do talk a lot more about that, let's head on down over towards the Crucial MVP standings and see exactly what I've been talking about. Just look at Paradox. He's right behind Deathmaker, but Deathmaker, he's just so consistent when it comes down to his MVPs. Look at him. He's on 11. And Paradox, he's still stuck on the 8.
So basically, he top frags every game for his team. He always top frags for velocity. It's almost like nobody else can steal it away from him. So that nigga, he has to be on top. Paradox, on the other hand, Sure, he is a very good fragger and he almost always carries his team, but sometimes his other teammates also lend in a helping hand. That's why he isn't always getting that MVP. Sai, of course, he's safe in the upper bracket up there. He's the one who put VOD Esports over here in the lower bracket. So there you go. And last but not the least, we have Strix. Now that's a new name. I didn't expect him to be anywhere close to the top, but here he is, and he's still keeping the Banner of Soul alive, even though they are not in the playoffs anymore. So those were the four MVPs. But now let's move on to the teams over here that we will be seeing today. We want to take a look at what their journeys have been like. We want to see what players they have in what these guys are playing for and what their ultimate goal is. Of course, for now their goal is just survival. But let's take a look at what what the road ahead would be like. If Team Exploit over here wins, then they will move ahead in the lower bracket and they'll most likely be facing the loser of XO versus True Rippers. Now, Aggie, what are the odds that Weird Esports win this one? They move ahead in the lower bracket, and somehow True Rippers beat Team EXO, and somehow we have a EXO versus Weird Esports again. That would be a revenge match. Of
We've been
course, I'm
looking for a
just
lot of revenge matches, dude.
yeah, there could be a lot of these. I mean, of course, I'm just spitballing over here. A lot of things have to fall in place for that to happen. But still, there is a tiny, tiny possibility.
It could, because even though we would say that, okay, Team EXO, they've been having such a dominant run throughout, not only in the playoffs, but also when you consider the group stages, they went 7-0. They didn't drop a single set to anyone. So they're the crowd favorites here, them and Velocity, both of them being on that 7-0 score line. They've got the 14 points, they have nothing to worry about. But here they have something to worry about, because now the teams, they have switched up their strategies, they have a lot more passion, and they have a drive for victory in comparison to anything else, because the stakes are now a lot more higher than ever now, aren't they? And in that sense, Team Exploit versus Weird, it's gonna be an interesting affair, to say the very least. It could be very one-sided, or it could just be one of the most incredible matches that we have seen so far, because Weird, they have shown growth beyond anyone else, I would say, throughout this entire gauntlet. When we saw Weird for the first time, we saw their potential. We knew how strong Bad Love was as a Jet player, but as time progressed throughout the entire gauntlet, we just saw a completely different face. Bad Love wasn't Bad Love anymore. It was as if a demon was running amok, and there were monks trying to run around him, and then the priest came in with crosses, and he just turned those crosses upside down, and he's like, I don't care, I'm just gonna go.
Oh, so you have the holy and the unholy power flowing through his veins, kind of
Yes.
turning it into Argent energy. If anyone gets that reference, you're an OG Doom player. Thank you so much. That's been my obscure reference for the day. And now let's move on to the actual good stuff over here. We have these teams, and of course, the first team that we're going to be taking a look at is Team Exploit. Of course, this team is full of some really, really talented individuals, but when they come together as a team, it kind of feels like the devil himself has ascended into the playgrounds. And these guys, they do not take any prisoners. They see you, they shoot you dead, and sometimes that's just how the round ends in like 20, 30 seconds. That's how fast rounds can be when this team is in the server. But while I say that, there are also instances where these guys take it extremely slow. They're like a team which sits on the edges. They are either very fast or very slow. Seldom seen I've seldom seen normal paced rounds when a team exploit is around.
Yeah, that is for certain, because Team Exploit, they know how to take control of the entire map, and when they do have the level of control that they were expecting, they know what to do with it. That's the thing. Tell me, how many teams are there not in our entire region that they can get control, and then they know what the hell they want to do with it? I have
Yeah.
seen situations where a team has gained mid control, and they're like sitting there on mid for a solid 30 seconds, just scratching their beards, being like, Like, you know, the Batman meme?
What now?
Yeah, what now? But Team Exploit, they're not like that. They gain control, and they know, okay, HSB gives the call, being like, okay, we're gonna be rushing on over onto market. We're gonna be pushing on down over onto the spawn. We have the control. Let's use it right here and right now, because if we wait here for way too long, then the defenders will have a chance to go into proper counter positions to go up against our level of control. All of these factors coming into play is very crucial for them to win out on. And let's see who's going to be the most crucial player coming on down through from the side of Team Expert, as we head on down over to the crucial player spotlight and shine the light on top of them. Because we know for a fact that King, this Sova player, it's probably one of the best Sova players we have in our entire gauntlet, if we don't consider right to ace, of course.
Oh, okay. So he's now being compared to right to ace. That's really big shoes to fill in. If King can step into his
Just
shoes,
stats wise,
then he
man.
can.
Just look at his stats. His stats speak for itself.
They definitely do. Getting an ACS about 200 itself is pretty damn difficult, and this man's sitting on almost 230, so that's there. 300 kills, that's pretty impressive as well. Just like 20 or 30 more, and he'll be contesting all these players who are on the MVP standings.
It's just insane to see how strong of a solo player he actually is. But at the same time, will his strength really compare towards the side of Weird? That's the real question. Let's settle down over towards the Weird team spotlight for their end, and see exactly what they have been cooking up for us. Because Scripps, in my eyes, this roster, I don't know, it just came out of absolutely nowhere. It's like a ragtag group of friends that just came down together and they landed on top of us like a wrecking ball. There is
Oh,
no way we even expected this team to reach this far, but on paper, this roster and their talent, these are just young guns just coming together and just showcasing how good they can be on Valorant. Like, you know, those couple of 14-year-old, 13-year-old kids that just run amok in our ranked games and they're just popping heads as if, like, the experience doesn't matter. They just have the aim, they have the reaction speed, and they're just getting the kills. That's what I feel whenever I look at Weird.
oh, but they have the experience too. We saw
They have the
yesterday
experience,
how
that's
they
true.
were giving Team XO a run for their money. I mean, it was so good. These guys did all their homework. They counter stratted Team XO and they made them sweat. XO had to come up with really, really cool on the fly strategies in order to beat Weird Esports. And let's be honest, some of those rounds were really close. I think Weird Esports had a chance to send XO over here down in the lower bracket if things went their way in the last map. And these guys, they're very good at anti-stratting. If they have done their homework against EXO, I'm kind of expecting them to do it against Team Exploit as well. Let's see how good their homework is and whether or not they'll be giving the grades for it.
We on down over on towards the player spotlight for the side of Weird. Let's see who's gonna be shining the brightest from their end, because as we are talking about Weird, we gotta talk about the side of Deadly 10, man. Deadly 10. Like, this guy, I don't know how he does it, but he is one of my favorite players for a reason. And that's primarily because he shifts between a sentinel and a duelist. That's what I do on a regular basis. I love myself my Cypher, but if I'm not playing my Cypher, I'm always playing the Jet. And that's what Deadly 10 does in general as well. He's not going to be able to play the Jet because there's, of course, Bad Love, and no one can replace Bad Love on the Jet. But he does play the race from time to time, and this type of playstyle that he has, shifting from a duelist over to a sentinel, allows him to just have that contingency plan at all times. He's like, okay, this is where I need to slow down, this is where I need to speed up. And that's why I sometimes always say that the duelist players sometimes need to play a sentinelist role as well from time to time, so he understands the level of aggression he needs to apply. Sometimes I see duelists just rush into a site over and over and over again until they brute force their way in. Like, in one of the rounds, it's gonna work. But when you play the sentinel role as well and you master that class as well as another role, it just gives you that fine tuning edge to make your main role, your primary role. Let's say in this case, his primary role is playing the duelist because he has much more of a playtime on the raise. That's the thing. It feels as though the more time passes, Deadly 10 just becomes even stronger. He has that aim of a duelist and the heart of a sentinel player. And in that sense, he's just that good for Weird, and he's one of the pillar stones that will just hopefully pick up the entire squad and take down Exploit as well, because Exploit, they're nothing to scoff at. On the other end, do you know who's there? There's a player named Shooter. And
Oh,
Shooter, he's been making highlights for days, man.
yeah, this guy has so many clips to his own name. I'm surprised he's not up here on the MVP standings. He
Yeah.
was, right? There was a time when Shooter was up here on the MVP standings during like the third week of the group stage. He was up there. Of course, he was then replaced by other people. You can't stay on the top forever. But that's the thing about being on the top. Once you're up there, everyone's got a target painted on your back. And Team Exploit have been on the top for quite a long time. Not just
Yep.
in Gauntlet, but in all the other tournaments that they play as well. They are one of the stronger teams to look out for. And of course, because they are known as one of the top tier teams in the South Asian region, a lot of teams do look up to them. They watch their demos, they see their games, they figure out what their playstyle is like. Weird Esports, on the other hand, they do have a good standing in Gauntlet. I'm not sure how their performance is outside of it, but on paper, Exploit have a lot more maps out there on YouTube, on Twitch, that people can watch and learn from, that's compared to Weird Esports. So naturally, there is more stuff available about Team Exploit that you can research. There's more stuff that you can find out about them simply by watching their games. So if Weird Esports have done their homework, they should be able to go ahead and give Team Exploit a good run for their money. Although EXO was able to win against Weird because they were good at adapting and they were good at coming up with new stuff on the fly. I'm not sure how flexible Team EXO. I'm sorry. I'm not sure how flexible Team Exploit are. So
Yep.
if that factor still stands true, if that is still a win condition for Weird Esports, then Team Exploit need to come up with a new bag of tricks.
I think that personally they should be able to go in for proper adaptation plays, because the thing about exploit is that normally do they really need to even adapt? Like, I haven't seen situations where exploit is just backed into a corner where their strategies are just non-existent. Their strat book runs deep. They have a lot of pages, like, you know, those 800-page novels that you try to read through for like a week straight and you still
Fat
can't go.
stacks.
Yeah, the fat stacks, man. Sadly, I don't have any fat stacks in real life, but it's okay. That's why I'm here with you. Let's head on down over towards the map video screen. We don't talk about our sad lives anymore. But for now, as we are going to be here, the first initial map being Ascent, this is a smart one.
Is it
Ascent
though?
is no, it's a smart one, because think of it like this. Team Exploit, why did they pick up the map of Ascent? This is one of the best maps that they have in their arsenal because of its puggish nature. And Exploit, they have very specific strategies built for puggish maps. They let Shooter run amok, yes, but how does he run around the map? He actually plays it in a very controlled fashion, with the callouts being given from his teammates. Normally, what happens with a Jet player, let's just consider Raw Fuel for a second. What does Raw Fuel do? He doesn't listen to anyone. He holds his W key. He gets a piece of tape. He tapes it down, puts a weight on top of it, and then he just goes. If he hits a shot, he hits it. Otherwise, he just doesn't stop. But for Shooter, it's a different case. He holds his W key as well, but he holds it only when his teammates give him a clearance or gives him a little bit of information to work with. And Ascent will embody that playstyle. Every single member of Exploit, they play around Shooter. And if they're able to feed all of that resources into him, I think that Ascent will be his playground.
Well, but if you take a look at the other maps, Split and Bind, they are also pretty puggish in nature. Split happens to be one of the strong maps of Weird Esports. They almost beat. Wait, did they? Yeah, they really kicked Team XO on this one. Now, the one thing that they did on Split is that these guys, after they took mid control, they somehow gave it up, and then they focused on the other ends of the map, like the A and the B ramps area. They were exploiting ramps pretty well, so that's there. And we mentioned this earlier as well, right? You take mid control, but then they're left scratching their beards. What to do next? That's literally Weird Esports in Split. Sometimes they just put a man over there, just have that one person hold down mid or maybe the rope room area, and then everyone else works towards the other side of the map. So now the responsibility of that one person is to just cut off the rotations. That's what Weird Esports do. But again, if you're leaving one player over there isolated, that's also risky, but I think that's a risk they're willing to take. And then we move on to Bind. Oh, I don't even know where to start. This map, sometimes it gives you the best
PTSD.
moments of an entire tournament. Sometimes it gives you brain damage because Bind is so chaotic in nature. If you start teleporting around the map like an idiot, I swear to God, your teammates will also have no idea what you're doing, let alone your enemy. So I have no words about Bind. I hope it doesn't go to map number 3. I think it won't. I think Team Exploit have what it takes to shut it down 2-0. Although after Weird Esports' performance yesterday against EXO, I think both those maps will still be pretty close. In fact, one of them might even go into overtime.
Thinking about how all of these plays are happening, I don't know just yet. That's the thing. The level of strategy that Weird have on their playbook for the map of Ascent, it's not that it's not that intensive. Think of it like this. There is Exploit who know how to play around these puggish maps and they know how to switch over their play styles. Just do a tiny little bit of an adjustment and it's like a completely new different strategy. But with Weird, do they showcase the same level of adaptability? I don't think so. Weird, they play these puggish maps on much more feeling rather than a solid plan. Like, okay, they have a plan, they go to A, they take a little bit of control over onto short, and that's it. What else is there? Like, that's what it feels like, at least. That's why I'm saying that the map of Ascent will be a lot more favorable for the map, for the side of Team Exploit, while Weird on Split, they will be a lot more in control, primarily due to the fact of how the initiators play out. The initiator gameplay from Weird, it's just on another level. They know what they're doing, especially when they have a breach or a sky on their hands. But for
Yeah.
now, ladies and gentlemen, I feel as though there are going to be a couple of more technical difficulties coming on down through from the players that can have a couple of little bit of trouble when it comes down to connecting. We're going to be sorting everything out and we're going to be back with the real shortly after a message from our sponsors.
From the legends of memory and storage, Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products, precision engineered for speed and stability. Crucial Ballistics.
Hey guys, welcome back to LG Ultragear presents Tec Gauntlet Season 3, powered by Crucial, 6x6, Cosmic Byte, and Aimlab. Now, we're about to go live with Team Exploit and Weird Esports. Very soon, we'll be jumping into the agent selection and see what these guys pick up. Of course, the first map is going to be Ascent, so it's going to be a very brawly map, very puggish map. I kind of expect a double initiator as well, maybe even a double duelist if these guys are feeling themselves. But I don't think we'll be seeing double controllers in Ascent. That's probably going to be reserved for Split or Bind, maybe.
Yep. As we do head on down over into the agent selection screen, I honestly do think that it's fine. We got nothing to really worry about. We're going to be starting out all up. We're going to be seeing exactly what we're going to be noticing on the map of Ascent. But as you just stated, double initiator, the most common composition on the map of Ascent. And if you're not picking up that comp, you're technically throwing, because unless you're an SCA team, no one's going to pick on anything other than a double initiator composition. Because come on, double initiator, why is it so good? Because it allows you to gain a lot of information for free, pretty much, and you can use that information to press your advantages, especially with the Sky. The Sky not only gives you information but facilitates you for a lot of the pushes due to her flashes. And then there's the Sova with the Owl Drone, so the Sky can act as an entire body, pushing her way forward with her own Sky flashes, and that allows you to do a lot more. You have the sheer level of information being given to you by the Sky, and the Sova can also play off of that information. Sova doesn't feel one-dimensional anymore. You can do a lot more different things with that one specific character, and that's exactly what they're going to be playing behind. Both of these teams, I don't know how to word it, but both of them are meta slaves, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be going in for double
Same
initiator
lineups.
compositions. Like, it's
Yeah,
going to be the same lineup. There's going to be no changes.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned the word meta slaves. The only thing that could probably define it is a KO pick. Wait, what are your thoughts on KO? I mean, he somehow plays out like a Sky, right? I mean, the flashes don't
Tiny
gather
little bit.
information, but you've got a blade that can do that. You've still got two flashes. You also have a Molotov of sorts. So
Okay,
yeah, one
Breach.
less utility to back your teammates up or gather information. But yeah, you can at least deny some area. That could also happen. So I mean, I don't know. We've seen Sai play KO in Split. Never really seen him do that in Ascent, but just wondering what could happen if that happens. Breach also could be pretty effective, and Team Exploit liked winning Breach on almost
your
all the maps.
agent.
It's not just Ascent. They will do it in Split as well. They'll do it in Bind as well. They don't care. They like this bionic Swede, and they like his arms. I think that's also probably one of the best reasons why Shooter is so effective, right? The flash and dash combo that these guys pull off is unlike any other team in the continent. It's pretty cool because it's somewhat safe as well. And also, you got to figure out that the timing of these guys is almost impeccable. So that's why I think the whole flash and dash combo can be really good. Let's see how it pans out, though. These teams will be going into the match. Very soon, we'll be beginning with Team Exploit on attack and Weird Esports on the defensive side.
That's the thing here. Currently, the positions that they are going to be holding, I personally am leaning a little bit more towards the Sky because of the ease of use and the amount of information that you can gather, but it's just the difference between both of these compositions is that with the Sky and Sova, the Sova and the Sky can play off of one another, but when you consider the Sova and the Breach is really dependent on the Sova to give him a little bit of information before he can use his own utility. Because when the maps are this large, there's a reason why Breach is no longer useful as a solo initiator. You need a double initiator to make him work, because his utility is made to pinpoint certain aspects of an entire map. And if you're not able to shut it down, it's just not gonna work.
Oh, bad luck getting away with murder. Good pickup. He's pretty safe. They will try to close the button, but the moment that happens, a hailstorm of bullets will be thrown through the smoke, hoping to get lucky picks. They do find one more kill, so it's still a 4 versus 4. A retake could be doable. But Weird Esports, they still have quite a lot of utility left. They even have another flash available in just 7 seconds, and that could be a massive problem to the people hiding inside of Hell. In fact, Shaka is not even playing in that position. He's still playing on the boxes. Goes for the anti-flash. The Jet is here to help him out. Still no drop down from the side of Weird Esports yet. They are being held at bay But time is ticking, and time is of the essence over here. They have almost 20
Yes, sir.
seconds left, and they need to move. Deadly 10 coming in from long. This could be a very important pick. This at least tells them that everybody else will still be in hell. They don't need to worry about long at all. But can they win the battles? No, they cannot. Soul is making the work, and he gets everybody. Oh my lord, this man is a demon. Get him out of here. Call in the priest. I don't think even the priest can do anything about this one. How much information did Weird have going into that round? They have a killjoy coming in from long. That's all they need.
Time to go into the Astro 4.
Exactly. I mean, when you figure out that there's nobody in long, everybody has to be in the site itself, and you know there's very limited angles that they can hold. They can either hold hell or they can hold generator. That's it. But you still cannot pinch Soulmate down there. Just disgusting.
He couldn't do anything about it. Like, this was just an individual performance from Soulmate, and I don't blame a single player for Weird for winning, for losing out on this one. Sometimes your opponent is just gonna absolutely dumpster you down and just gonna remind you that you deserve to be at the very bottom. And Soulmate, he just reminded everyone why he's at the very top, why he's here on the side of Team Exploit, why he's just that good. Positions are prime, shots are good, and Shaka, he's gonna be the one to possibly go in for a couple of his own kills. But Deadly? His feelings just got toyed with, man. That classic just did not give him any form of remorse.
Yeah, and he was holding a very open angle too, so he knows it's a one-ended angle. He can't get more than one frag. If he gets traded, he's done. He's just hoping to get one lucky pick, maybe cause some economic damage. And now Smoke, already got a foot in the grave, 12 HP. Yeah, this one's done and dusted. There's no way he can do anything. Either way, man, I still can't get over that triple kill from
Oh,
Soulmate.
is he gonna try and kill himself? Oh, wait, no.
Nah, it's not conducive. Just trying to dodge people from everywhere. Either way, I mean, in the first round, tactically, Weird Esports did nothing wrong. They know exactly where their enemies were, but then when Soulmate's hitting shots like this, what can you do, man? What can you do? On paper, you did everything correctly. In the server, you failed to click heads. Sometimes it is what it is. Either way, Weird Esports can fight back now. They've got the weapons, even an Odin in the hands of Rio. Soulmate still nice and ready. He's got the lockdown available, so he can probably commit it very early on, farm up some more frags, and then start building out towards another lockdown. The only person with good weaponry is Shooter, but Shooter doesn't have any heavy shields. He's only got them light shields. So that could be risky. If he gets spammed over here because of the recon dart, then he's going to take quite a lot of damage, and they only have... no, wait, they don't have any healers, so this could be big. Sound of the Odin itself should be enough to discourage them away from this region.
Well, I don't think so. Not really. Not in this situation, at least. Team Exploit, they are pretty much gunning for this. Even though their black market gun is just holding down their fort, they just give like no two damns. They're still going to be going in for it. Shots are going to be good. The positions are going to be prime and king.
What?
He sprays out too with a Spectre.
Through a smoke too. Oh.
No, come on, man. Come on.
It's really smart how they decided to put the lockdown after the shock darts from Rio were already used. So he can't use those fancy average Jonas lineups to break the lockdown. Pixel's turning around very quickly to get the headshot onto Shaka, but Soulmate still bringing it back, and he's good for another one.
Play it safe. Don't do this. Do not over-aggress. And Team Exploit, they know. They're giving the calls. They're like, nope, we ain't doing this. It's Bad Love. You can get a clutch at any second. And Bad Love, pick up a gun, go in for a save. There's an Odin right next to you. That's gonna be one. He's looking for another one. He's not gonna be able to find the shot, though. That's gonna hurt a little bit. And oh god, he's like, what? What do I pick up? Do I go for Odin? Do I go for Guardian? No, I'm just gonna run away.
Sometimes the best decision is not take any decision. Yeah, but like I said, Team Exploit are really good with their timing. Just the lockdown after the shock darts have been used up, no counter to it. Of course, you can still have the Sova stay over there, spam through with the Odin, and then try to break the lockdown. But then the reverse shock darts from King came through, making sure that the elevation from Rio is just simply not present. Anybody else who stood in their way, they were mowed down by King. Man got 2 kills through a smoke with a Spectre against an Odin. If that's not enough to blow your mind, I don't know what is.
Holding the positions, but at the same time, I don't think it's enough. Not yet, anyways. I have the spike. All the members. Oh no, I knew that was gonna happen. Why? Why, soulmate? Why? You knew you were gonna die there.
Hell, I mean, I can't really blame him. He was having 4 points, a couple more, and he would have had us locked down again.
Take flight.
Come on, that's just greed right there.
Yeah, it is great. I mean, he got
Out of charges.
a lockdown in the second round. Why wouldn't you be more greedy after that? Oh my god, Rio's in so much trouble right now. The one frag that he got with the wall bang is all that she wrote for him. Battler still trying to rattle away with the Marshall, but it's unlikely that he gets into any more engagement until his teammates come along. Unless Shooter offers his life to him first. Takes his life in return instead. And more to follow as the 2 remaining sheriffs can probably do nothing but economic damage. Maybe not even that. And it's gonna be Team Exploit with 4 rounds. And a decent lead right off the bat. They only lost 1 player. It's pretty good.
They have such an economic advantage as well. Just look at their eco.
Yeah.
It's
apart from
spread
just the
out so
$8,000
well
mark.
as well. Look at how spread out the economy is. Like, they all have money, but the money is spread out in such a way that they will always have a little bit of an advantage and a little bit of let's say wiggle room if one of them starts overflowing in the eco. It's smart, it's good, but now that Weird have taken on this first initial pause, they need to recollect themselves and just try and figure out a different strategy. Currently, they're going in for their defensive side holds and they're playing the defaults, but the defaults are not working against any of the members of the side of Team Exploit. So what do they really need to do? Take a lot more initiative, be a little bit more aggressive, because they need to try and test out different plans of attack on the side of defense. Like, you know what I mean? They need a completely different phase. Playing slow on the defense is just not going to work. You cannot play reactively against the side of Team Exploit. They just have a lot more control because they have a lot more firepower on their favor, because on the attacking side, the Breach just screams control. You cannot stop a Breach from pushing you, even if you have a Sky and a Sova on your team. You need to go in for your own pushes, and then you need to corral them into a corner where you know for a fact you'll funnel all of the resources into one sideline. Then you have your own resources to counteract that, because you funneled them all in, and you invested all of your resources on one specific sideline. That's what
Aggie,
they need to clear now.
I agree with you, Aggie. And if Weird Esports want to get aggressive, it's probably going to have to be towards
here we
mid,
go.
because that's the one place where Team Exploit has not fought yet. But instead of playing aggressively towards mid, they're going towards a long, and a massive battle awaits them. Many people just standing over here. Team Exploit ready for a counter push, and they are holding the angles, prepared for Weird Esports to come in and knock the doors. But while fighting was going on towards a long, tree control has been lost, and HSB has snuck in. The door closing means that they don't know he's about to enter this area. He could get all the way towards A heaven before he gets detected. And of course, his teammates with the hottest fury, he's trying to clear out the common angles. It doesn't hit, but look at how much control HSB has. Unfortunate timing as Rio decides to rotate from B at the worst time possible. And now Weird Esports have to be thinking, how on earth did you let this man slip into your territory so deep? Well, at least the danger's out, so they still have this play over here. Bad luck to hold on, but he's been taken care of. Plant can go down, although no backup available for Shaka. His teammate, Deadly 10, is not very close. Rio trying to deny the plant. Now he knows exactly where the plant is. He knows Shaka is also under heaven, so Deadly 10 can probably take a shot at him. Maybe stop him from retreating.
Soulmate!
Yeah.
Coming back.
Oh, this is easy for him. This is so easy for him. This is easy for days. One on the left, one on the right. He knows what's up. Soulmate with the trigger control.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. If one person sneaking through wasn't enough, the other one will do it. The void that HSB could not fill, oh, Soulmate more than covers up for it. He more than fills it up.
His name is just perfect for him.
Yeah.
He's a soulmate for a reason.
Yeah, and it's funny how Weird Esports let 2 people slip past the same position twice in the same round. How often do you have to repeat a mistake to get your... I don't know, man. How often do you have to repeat a mistake to let Team Exploit get such a massive mistake? You don't often get 2 bites of the cherry. But Team Exploit, they don't just want the cherry, they want the whole goddamn tree. And now they have another one heading towards them. Oh,
Good shots.
really
One
nice
more.
shots. But TEAMXO still win the trades. It was an eco anyway, so it doesn't really matter. All they need is some economic damage and maybe stop the spike run from happening. Die before that happens, maybe. Don't give too much money to your opponents.
The amount of damage already being given here. Maybe they're gonna be able to go in for one more swing out. Maybe take the fight, take the engagements. Soulmate, he gets away with 2. Come on.
Man's on 10 frags, and it's only been 5 rounds so far. Double digits in 5 rounds. That's just a scary statistic, honestly.
Per round.
And the only time I've been this scared of numbers was in 12th grade mathematics. That's it. Now his numbers are scaring me.
12th grade mathematics, and I'm still here stuck doing uni classes 24/7.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
I hate calculus to the point of no return just because of my math teacher. Hey, thankfully my math teacher is like really old and she does not play Valorant or anything like that, so I'm safe trying to say anything bad about her.
She probably doesn't have too many years left in her life, but okay.
Okay,
That was a
bro.
bit too dark, wasn't it?
Okay, bro. I don't want to go that far.
Either way, Smokey is burning alive in that nanoswarm. He's taken so much damage before he even gets into an engagement. 2 HP left before the bullet even hit him, and that's a free kill. Hey, I mean, it's tit for tat, right? Smokey died for free. It stands to reason that Shaka dies the same way as well. But Shooter, he's way too ahead, and he catches Rhea with a bow in his arm. Ah, that's a way to catch an opponent's off guard. So many times TEAMXO have moved up into heaven, and every time they've been successful.
Where are the shock darts landing? Okay, that's a good shock dart position. He was waiting to see if there's gonna be a lockdown being placed by Deadly 10. But
yeah.
Ambitious, but I like it.
I mean, it was preemptive too. He was probably expecting Deadly to place that lockdown in that location, and you know, he just wants to show that he's done his homework. He's watched all the average Jonas videos, and he's prepared for every anti-lockdown shock dart.
Oh no! He nearly
At least he doesn't
him.
get.
King
Yeah,
is
at
like,
least he doesn't get
you
humiliated.
didn't steal it. King is like, come on, shooter. I'm older than you. You can't do this to me.
7-0. This is looking incredibly scary at this point.
Isn't this what we expected? Like, you didn't listen to me. You were like, oh, maybe TEAMXO are gonna have a hard time. I didn't say that was the case.
Hey, I said that this match was gonna be close, considering Esports gave TEAMXO a run for their money just yesterday. And this is the elimination game. I expected them to show up with something much more. But that's not the case, and Shooter's feeling extremely confident. Doesn't check the angle, gets killed for it. Pixels pop off! A triple for this man, and he's already done much more than he's required. Another one could have been possible if he didn't run out of bullets, but honestly, this is a lot more than what we expected of him. The only man on the team above 5 frags. That's Pixels. And this is as close as Team Esports have gotten to getting around. It's still a 2v2. And now that all the preemptive shock darts have been shot out already by King, no anti-lockdown shock darts available. That's where he puts down his lockdown, and of course there's a counter one for it. They push it out, and that's the end of it. TEAMXO don't look like they give a damn, do they? I mean, at this point they're playing very recklessly. The whole body language of Soulmate over here when he placed that lockdown, it kind of just screamed at me and told me, yeah, what is your lockdown good for? Absolutely nothing. We're going to rush you down, we're going to break it, and if you die in the process, so be it. They don't mind giving away one round to their opponents.
It's just 0 and 8.
Yeah, pretty scary.
And a 13-0.
Could be.
Okay.
I mean, I watch horror movies for fun, and this is still scarier than most of those.
Hey, Valorant is a horror game. I don't care what people say about it.
It is.
The amount of times that I've gotten heart attacks from this game alone doesn't count for the amount of times that I've just watched. Hey! If something like this happens to me in a game, I'm just Alt F4ing and uninstalling right then and there. Come on, shooter.
And they have no way into this site either.
Spike planted.
They've got just Smokey left over here. Seekers, sure, they'll probably reveal a couple of positions, but what good is that? The only thing that it does, it tells Pixels that there's a couple of players towards market, so he can't go ahead at full speed. He's gonna have to hold on a little bit. He spotted out one more player.
Oh,
but
that is such a
Smokey has
beautiful
been
cloudburst.
denied. I know, the curling of that cloudburst, it's incredible. Smokey, he has no backup because of that cloudburst, and now they all have to peek one by one.
What is this control? What is the level of execution from the side of TEAMXO? Weird, they're just not ready for any of it. Like, the confidence in the execution. It feels as though TEAMXO, they've drilled this strategy like 10,000 times. Like, you know, there's a meme about China and their 3,000 years of experience and 3,000 years of, you know, tradition. This is the 3,000 years of exploit just playing Valorant. Even though the game hasn't been out for this long. They went into a time machine, into the hyperbolic time chamber, and they're like 3,000 years of experience, ladies and gentlemen. Big
Let's
do.
go. Well, they certainly have more than...
Oh?
I'm done. I am done. Battle of is hitting some nutty shots over here, but can't convert any of those into rounds. He can't even fall back to the side. Smokey is trapped over here. Only Battle was spotted. They know that Smokey was in the A-Long region because of the flashes, but they don't know his exact position. They still pre-fire, and King still wins it.
Are you kidding me?
See, this is the kind of stuff that I stopped playing the game. His enemy started shooting first, but HSB still got that frag.
Recalling my bond.
Scanning ahead.
Spike planted.
And now they know where Deadly is as well. Shocked us to greet him. Red carpet laid out. And King's already giving him the sweets before he can even enter the house. Free fire, shock darts, 3 people rushing you. What can you do in this situation? We at Esports need to start playing aggressively towards mid. That's the only place that Team Exploit have not used yet. Imagine Aggie, Exploit are not even using 100% of their strat books. All that they have done so far is either rush A or rush B. All of that within the first 30 seconds of the round. They haven't gone for any of those patience plays at all. They haven't even used mid at all. They're only rushing towards the extremities of the site. So mid is literally free real estate. If Weird Esports try to exploit it somehow, if they try to take control of mid, they might succeed. But they're not doing it. None of the teams are present towards mid. And I've never seen a scent like this.
Hey, I've seen a lot of Ascent like this, but I've never seen it work.
Yeah, but I mean, it is working for the attackers. Weird Esports, not so much.
Oh no, this time around, I don't think it's gonna work. Look at the stack.
Yeah, but they're all
waiting for
in the
this.
side.
No,
They're
this is a good plan. This is not a bad plan for them.
You
But if he hit shots like this,
Get out!
shooter,
Done.
shooter. Okay, no, even our producer is done. There is-
Bro, if you could show my face right now on stream, it would really just add color to this whole game, because I definitely can't add any color cast. How? Bro, khatam. मुझसे
Bro,
नहीं हो रहा.
you made him speak Hindi.
Last round in the
Yeah,
half.
man literally made me change language. I'm trying to analyze over here, man. I'm trying to add some color into this cast, but all I'm seeing are nutty shots upon nutty shots. Is there any strategy involved in this game? No, absolutely zero. Is the aim on everybody of Team Exploit on point? Yes, there is. Absolutely. Do you even need strategy when you're hitting shots like that?
I can't even blame Weird. Like, what do you even say? Weird is playing bad? No.
No, they're
There's
doing
just
everything
strategy.
fine.
Yeah, they're doing everything proper, but if there's shots like this being hit by one single player, you just can't. You have no way of surviving. It's like a GG Go next rank game.
Right there.
How do you go into the next map? How do you go into split after taking a beating like this? Finally, Team Exploit start to attack mid,
Thrashing, bro.
and Love is prepared for it this time. He saw it coming. He dodges the flashes too, gets one, but he needs one more, and he has no backup available. It's turned into a 1v1 battle at
HSV,
this
what
point,
is
which
that
HSV
shot?
will win. And while HSV is out here winning on mid, his teammates appear at the B site.
And how much control do they have?
One
Just pulled
enemy
out his
remaining.
Hunter's Fury in the middle of nowhere.
Rolling Thunder.
Maximum disrespect. Oh my god! What is happening?
Switching sides. Match
I mean, the
point.
sheer audacity that King had to pull out the Hunter's Fury in front of his enemies like that kind of tells you everything you need to know. I mean, there is a certain level of domination, there is a certain level of disrespect, and then there's desecration. That's the level that we are operating at now. 12-0, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking at a massacre. Weird Esports just dancing around off the bodies of their teammates, almost always finding themselves in a 2 versus 5, 3 versus 5 situations after losing their teammates right at the beginning. And if they don't win this pistol round, then they will go into split, a map down, and on the brink of elimination. Team Exploit, though, they hold no breaks. They're on a push A right here and now, and Smoke is out here trying to battle 3 people at once. At least he's able to take down 1 person, so that's a little bit of consolation. But while that's happening, Weird Esports have already gone into the B side, and a shooting gallery is waiting for them on the back of it.
Shaka!
They're getting pulled in, but they're
Down B.
still winning everything. Shaka hitting
Where'd he
all
go?
the shots,
Call it.
and now it's an Astra versus Astra battle. Soulmate out here, just trying to hit the shots, and that is it. 13-0.
Well,
What's
that
the
was
time
quick.
now?
Time to lower this place.
It's 9-7.
Wait,
We started
it's-
at 8:45. And that's an exact 17 minutes that this match ended in. 17 minutes. And the match is done. Aggressive, tell me something. How are you feeling right now? You casted the previous match, which basically was like an endless battle, right? It went on
Yeah,
to
it
like
was
overtime
an
upon
hour
overtime,
long.
and yeah, that was probably the longest match of the entire Gauntlet season so far. And now we have this game, which was incredibly kick. So you had a very long game and a very short game on the same day.
Roller coaster of emotions, man. This is
I
why
know,
I'm here.
right?
This is why I'm a caster. But
Yeah.
sadly, my medical bills are not getting paid here. So
I mean,
It's
if
fine.
we're on a roller coaster this wonky, then I'm pretty sure all of us will be puking our guts out. And honestly, those shots made me puke my guts out. What on earth were those shots? Those were disgusting. Put on
need
the
to relive
highlights back
that.
again. I wanna relive those. Jesus, those were some really, really nutty shots.
this entire game was a living, breathing highlight reel for Team Exploit.
And every
No.
member of Team Exploit, not just one
Yeah,
person.
exactly. Like, look at Solvay, first initial pistol round. He's already getting a highlight reel for himself against professionals, man. This is what they're doing? No, just no. This is not how
Keep
it
in-
was meant to happen.
It wasn't, definitely. Keep in mind, Team Exploit are the team that lost to True Rippers. Weird Esports gave Team XO a run for their money. They won a map against them. Are they supposed to be on the same power level on paper? Not really. But are they supposed to be this far apart in terms of tactical supremacy? Not really. Once again, just it's not even like I can say that Team Exploit were tactically better this time. They were just hitting their shots. And honestly, as an analyst, that's a very stupid thing to say. Ki, why did they win a match? Yeah, that's because they're hitting their shots. That's like very obvious. But honestly, there is no other reason in this game. There's literally no other reason. What are Team Exploit doing? Rushing A, rushing B. When did they go mid? 10 rounds into the half. 10 or
10
11 rounds into
rounds,
the half.
and they did it once. Just
Yeah, they did it
once.
once in the entire half. Usually,
And even
Ascent
that didn't give them
relies-
anything. Even that didn't give them anything.
Exactly. It was just for like style frags or whatnot. Usually, what's the meta like on Ascent? You try to take mid control a little bit, place a couple of players over there, gather information, and then decide whether you want to crunch A using Catwalk and A main, or whether you want to crunch B using B main and mid market. Mid is involved in all those areas. No, but for Team Expert over here, mid doesn't exist. What is mid? It's a free entry point where you can get frags when you're feeling like you're low on frags. But once you feel like your teammates are getting all the glory, that's when HSB goes and he's like, yes, I'm also over here. Let not Shooter and King take away all the glory for me. And this is the highlight reel that I was talking about. Shooter just killing 3 people in a row. And it's not like he was offered individual 1v1s. No. The last two players from the back of side, they double peaked him. It was a triple stack on the beast side, but a single man clears out the whole thing. When stuff like that's happening, you lose your will to live.
Yeah, you lose your will to try and play this game even. Just
I don't
look
know
at
how
what
these guys will
Shaka was
reset.
doing as well, man. Like if Shaka had 2 more bullets, Pixels was dead. It's
Yeah, and
just
this
I don't know what else to say here, Cribs. Like this was just a shooting gallery for an
yeah.
exploit. There's
And if
nothing more.
if Pixels had a couple more bullets, then this game would have ended 10 seconds sooner than it did. It would have been an even shorter game. We probably would have been trying to get the record for the shortest game on Gauntlet. I measured the time. We started at 8:45. The game ended at 9:07. That's my local time. So yeah, man, do the math. Like 20 minutes, just a little above that. Yeah,
Yeah, 20
I don't
minute
know.
game of Valorant. I thought I
It's
was
very
not playing
quick.
Spike Rush out here.
Yeah, it felt like a Spike Rush now, didn't it? Oh man,
God.
it's just weird how Team Exploit are so good. No pun intended, but hey, that's all that I can say right now because I have nothing else except for probably screaming out every time shooter gets a triple kill or a quad kill. Well, that's a beating. Let's hope Team VOD Sports can reset from this one and come into Split with a clear mind. It will be difficult, but I hope they do it because if they can't, then they are out of Gauntlet. That's it. This lower bracket game, it is an elimination match, and VOD Sports need to keep themselves alive on Split. They must go into bind if they want to continue their journey in the tournament. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back after it. Don't go anywhere.
the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to LG Ultragear TEC Gauntlet Season 3, powered by Crucial, 6x6, Cosmic Byte, and Aimlab. Oh boy, it seems like I'm saying this again a bit too soon. Usually, my brain has at least an hour window between saying this intro again. But now, this first map ended so quickly, we hardly had any time to reset. It's a 13-0 win. We
A
don't
very
see this
fast
every
30
day.
deal with.
Yeah, a very fast one. And fast is not just the pace of the game, but
Speed
also
run.
the speed of every shot that these guys hit, that Team Exploit hits. Shooter, my man, just walks into a side, casually gets a triple kill, even though he's getting double peaked.
Triple peaked, mind you, not doubled.
Like, you can discount the first guy because he was busy shooting at someone else, but yeah, the other two were still looking in his direction. But still, man, you're not supposed to do that. And then in the very same round, Soulmate gets a very sussy aim transfer onto two other players,
He's a
which
sussy
Shooter was
baka.
not able to kill. Yeah, he's a sussy baka, yeah. Except he's making everyone else look like a baka.
It's there is no way you can explain game number one, so let's just say that Team Exploit, they just took out a lot of their anger and built up frustration against Weird on game number one on their own home turf. But as we head on down over onto game number two, this is where the real fun will begin. The breach is coming on
Chaos.
down, Chaos coming out, and this is one of the best maps for this side of Weird. Will they be able to take down TEAMXO and send us into game number 3 and possibly go in for their own 13-0? We're going to be finding that one out as soon as we load into the game, because the first initial piss round is where the real fun will begin.
Now, there is one thing that I'm a little curious about. Since you've got two characters that can throw in your flashes, I'm assuming Breach's flashes will be reserved for the flash and dash combinations or setting up the whole team. And Deadly will most likely be using those flashes for himself rather than setting his team up with it. Does that mean that Deadly will be the lurk in this game? Could be.
Deadly's always a lurk.
Yeah, but he's. Usually KO is the initiator, so
Oh,
initiators on paper supposed to be with team versus him being on the other side away from his team. I was like thinking about it in that kind of perspective.
in the map of Split, the lurker is not really as important. Like, you know for a fact that lurks are not really a thing in Split as much. Yeah, lurks are good, but does it get you a lot of value from most of the time? Not exactly. So let's just see what comes on down through from their engagements first at the very beginning. I feel as though personally this KO pickup for them is going to be massive, but KO and Breach,
It's a bit too pushy.
That's a big double question mark for me.
Yeah. Speaking of double, these guys have two initiators, KO and the Breach, whereas Team Exploit have two controllers, Shaka and Soulmate. The Viper doubles up as a sentinel on her defensive side because the utility can really just tag down your HP so much. Oh, but the Jet has already been tagged. The Cloudburst won't really protect her. King not really keen on engaging. He's waiting for the timing to peek out of this nebula. His teammates have also started to group up towards ramp, so the rotations have arrived. But King gets spammed through the smoke and Badlove gets a lucky frag. That's good. If they find Smokey over here, it could be great, but Smokey not revealing himself. If the timing is right and Smokey comes back on time, he could kill both the Jet and Shaka over there. But oh my god, Shaka already dead. Soulmate taking them both down in reverse. Smokey gets one onto HSB. Oh yes, it's finally coming through. The patience is paying off. And Soulmate's the only one left over here. Stunned, suppressed, and on the verge of death.
Reverse 13-0 begins. Say it.
Nah.
Say it.
Nah, I'm not gonna count my chickens before they hatch.
God damn it. Just had to do it that to be. But alright, fine. 0-1. Possibility of a 13-1 scoreline. Maybe. But for now, let's just say, let's give Exploit the benefit of the doubt. First initial round is a piss round, and I always say it's a throwaway. We don't care about it. But for Weird, this is a very crucial round for them to gain back their momentum just a little bit. After such a heartbreaking loss, you'd expect them to be a little bit shaken up, but after one win, that's gonna give them a lot of confidence.
Soulmate having a lot of regrets trying to go for that move. Got taken down through the Viper toxin screen, thinking he was safe. Apparently not. King and the rays get detected over there, so that's great. HSP also has been spotted. They know he's towards the rope room. They're just looking for some information towards the P Heavens region so that they can start moving in that direction. But the moment I say it, they change up the plan. And they go towards A instead. But the spike was spotted down mid. So now I think Team Exploit can start figuring out that these guys had no intentions of coming towards B in the first place. They want to go towards A. And HSB is on a fact-finding mission. He'll find the facts, but he's also faced death.
One enemy remaining.
No guns for Shaka. Just trying to be cheeky and pick up the weapon of that dead player over there, but doesn't find anything. No problem. I think Team Exploit have done enough. I mean, they caught Team Esports rotating towards the A side, so now at least they figured out what their mid-round tendencies are. Hopefully they can use it when it's a more important round and when there's more at stake.
Yeah, for now, we do see the 0-2 scoreline, but I always say this, it's all about the buy rounds. As soon as the buy round rolls around, this is where the real problems will start to arise. Will you as a team be able to make those bonus guns sing, or are you just gonna fall apart under that pressure and you're just gonna crumble under the sheer raw force that will be the power of the Vandals and the Phantoms in their hand? They're going in for a fast rush from the side of mid. They have a lot of utility to work with. They're throwing everything out here. But they're getting caught out by the tripwires. That's going to cost them bad
Oh my
luck.
god.
They fall apart, but still, weird. They're getting all of the kills one by one. They get a triple for
standing.
themselves. They get a quad. Since Soulmate, he's the last person remaining. Full-scale rush down towards the B side, and they all
Spike
drop like
planted.
flies.
And he's got a lot to do. First set of challenge will come across as soon as he goes into the site. The turret will most likely, no, not the turret, the alarm bot will most likely figure out his location. And then how does he go for the defuse? There's even a breach coming down from his side, and he doesn't even get to look at his killer in the face. I have to appreciate one thing about this setup though. The tripwire towards B heaven, it works like a charm because they have figured out that the jet over there in the form of Badler, what he does is basically place his cloudburst towards the edge of the rafters. And when you get caught on the tripwire like that, you're still revealed through that cloudburst. So you can get the kill onto the jet or anyone else for that matter who's trying to move in. The cloudburst kind of works against them at that moment. So that was the only good thing about Team Exploit and their setup in that round. Now they're back again with their eco weapons.
They bring it all back. That's another one for them. But what is not going to be for them is this situation here. Rio is going to be good for one kill at shooter. He's like, yo, Rio, I heard you want some cookies. I'm going to be selling some. And Soulmate, he's going to be selling cookies and milk at the same time. Gets a double kill for himself. He gets a couple of worthwhile customers. But now Exploit, they have the guns as well in their favor. They've stolen everything, and Shaka, he's looking for one more for himself.
Spike is still down on sewers, so yeah, maybe this cookies has a couple of raisins in it. You don't want to bite into it. HSB,
Yeah, I like raisins.
You do? Okay. Nice.
Raisins are not bad, man. Come on. They're good for you, actually.
Against chocolate chips?
Against chocolate chips, of course, chocolate chips are better. Like, no one will choose a raisin cookie over a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah. They can choose violence,
30
though.
seconds left.
Lockdown's prepared. Soulmate's just trying to chuck down a snake bite so that they don't rush into the site after using this lockdown. And look at this suppressive utility. This lockdown doesn't allow them to get into the site. They're being forced to take mid and go towards the A side, and there's no time left. They'll never be able to
10
plant.
seconds left.
This round's already in the bag for Team Weird Esports. I'm sorry, for Team Exploit. Great
Enemy
moves!
remaining.
Great moves by Team Exploit, just on the basis of the utility supremacy. Last map, I was all about them and their aim and the lucky shots and whatnot. This time, what do? They activate the big brain plays. The lockdown it does force the people of Team Exploit off of the site, but all the suppressive utility makes sure that Weird Esports can't push into the site even if it's fully clear. Just brilliant. They put down the boom bot, the snake bite, the paint shells, the whole kitchen sink. Everything.
It's just control. That's the name of the game. That's how they're gonna play, and that's how you're gonna be the one to bring in the herd. It's just
Speaking of control, they've got it on mid as well. The Viper's bit comes through,
run,
but
HSB, run, run, HSB, run. Get away from
it is actually good he goes for the run. Would be pointless to defend this whole side against 5 people. Would be nearly impossible. Bad love though, extending further. Well, that's his Q2 exit. Still, this is a 5v5 retake, and the Esports, they don't need to do much, just bide for time. Team Exploit don't have any massive ultimates that could help them retake this one. And Deadly 10 with the bad flash. That could be big. King gets the frag onto him because of that bad flash, and HSB also able to successfully convert onto Bad Love. The Aftershock won't let them defuse just yet, but they can tank it and start defusing. Now they stick it. Shooter, making sure that no flags come in from B Heaven. The last 2 players stuck inside B main, but Rio's still good, and with those 2 kills, he's got the Rolling Thunder. That pushes off the diffuser from the spike, and that's the clutch.
Shout me again.
That is
Oh
real.
my god, yeah, that's
Right
just
there.
Rio, man. The 2 kills
Good
netting him the
strategy.
Rolling Thunder. It would have failed. The strat would have failed if it wasn't for the Rolling Thunder and if he didn't get those 2 kills on time.
The Rolling Thunder was the saving grace for the
Yeah.
entire thing there. If it wasn't for Rio and his quick thinking, snap your finger, and this round's already going in the favor of Exploit, heading on down over to a 2-1-4 scoreline. But this is good. Weird, they finally gained back their momentum, and now they have a lead for themselves. From a 13-0 to a 1-4, I would say that's already a massive improvement. And that just goes to show that you cannot break the mentality of Weird no matter what happens. They're always going to be a driving force, and they're always going to be the ones to bring in the pain and also bring in the hurt as well. Push it up slow and steady. Over from the silent bay. Maybe they're going to be able to find something. Spots on the head! And Bad Love, he gets a revenge kill finally. He's like, HSB, you killed me last time, but this time around, it's just not going to happen.
Blocking sight.
And with that, they've taken control of mid. Your Esports have everything they need. Pixels find Soulmate. That was the only player with a rifle in this game. Soulmate had a Phantom, and now that it's gone, it's just down to the Bladestorm and Shaka's Sheriff. Which honestly won't be good for much because he's being surrounded by both the directions. Okay, I take my words back. It's so damn good! 2 huge frags! And Shaka, he's done enough economic damage. He's keeping Weird Esports humble.
Team Exploit. Now is their time to shine once again. Now is the moment where they can either make it or break it for themselves. Let's just say all the members of Exploit, they can dig in deep. They can finally find the angles that they really want to take, and they're finally going to be the ones to change up the way that they approach these sidelines. But the issue here is what exactly? They have the control, they know what they really need to do, but it feels as though they're going in a little bit too overly aggressive and they're missing out on their shots because of it. Yes, they had such a good start on the map with Sen, but if you let that level of success get to your head, you're gonna start making mistakes.
I have one question. They use the Cosmic Divide, which essentially blocks out all of heaven, and then they just need one smoke towards screens. They could have used that to enter the site, but they did not. Instead, they placed Bad Love just on the edge of the ramp's entrance. And they've got Smokey along with him as well. So after they take control of ramps, what's the play over here? There's only 40 seconds left. If you're still going to go for the A site, you should have done this a long time ago. If you're trying to go for a fake, yeah, then it makes sense. But now, I think Team Exploit are kind of ready. There's a 3-man stack over here. 2 of them on the site itself. Shooter with the op position just right. And Bad Love, he now peeks out of heaven. Shooter is a bit late to the party, but at least he's picked up 2 kills. So he keeps it a 3 versus 3, keeps it competitive. And now the retake will begin. Spike available. They've got the Showstopper too. And if the Showstopper connects, this could be massive. Here comes the rocket, and Shooter's got this frag in his pocket. An ace in the making, and the Showstopper was never needed.
You can hear the music of Zed playing in the background. Team Exploit, they are dancing to that song. They're dancing to the melody. Because now that they've gotten this round, this is one round for many more for them. Finally, they can take that deep breath, have that sigh of relief, and be like, boys, we did it. We got the round. We finally have the momentum back in our favor, and Shooter is now feeling himself on his operator once again. That's what they needed. This is the change.
This is the change they needed, but Team Exploit, they need to win the next round as well. Otherwise, the economy will back in the dumpster. The only saving grace is that 3 of the members of Team Exploit survived, so they don't have to spend too much to reinvest. But Shooter doesn't have a dash. He's probably gonna die. Never mind. Never mind. He survives that, gets a kill, falls back, and the best part is his teammate Shaka puts up a Nebula over here just so that he could escape. That's very good timing over there. If that Nebula wasn't present, Shooter would have been shot dead. He cannot dash back to safety, and the trades would have been successful, turning it into a 4v4, but that's not the case. Now, they were vibing to the melody in the last round. Can Team Exploit dance to the rhythm of this beat? Can they pull off another incredible feat, or will they bow down and defeat over here and the economy goes down in the drains once more? HSP has an off angle. should be able to get the kill onto Smokey, considering he's vulnerable. 2 bullets should be enough to get the frag onto him. He spotted Deadly 10 also falling down into its hill, and he will send him there. Pixels ready to engage. He's got the kill onto Shaka, but what about the other 2? Now he's gonna get shot. They know there's one player in the backside. They already knew about Shooter up in heaven. What does Rio do with all this information? Even though he gets peeked alone by King, he can't win the duel. Team Exploit, they're trying to claw their way back into this game, and for now they're actually able to do it. One more blow and BO3 Esports are done for. Their economy would have been broken. Oh wait, it's already kind of broken. They're relinquishing it to Sheriffs now. They've done it. Team Exploit have the chance to get back up at 4-5, maybe even 5-5 if they can keep this going.
Taking this on for themselves. 3 and 5 on the scorecards. 2 more rounds to try and go in for an equalization. Exploit. After a very explosive last round, they haven't. This is just another free round for them. If they get the 4th, then it's just putting that final nail in the coffin and then sending a message to all of the members of Weird, being like, sit down. We are now back in the driver's seat. Your strategies are no longer going to work against us. But there's a massive issue here, and I think you already see it. Double controller strategy on the side of defense, and they are losing. Unless they get to that 7 and 5 score line, it's over. Like, you can pretty much say that we are heading on down over onto map number 3. They need that 7 and 5. They need that tiny little bit of an advantage. Otherwise, it's not going to be looking that good for them.
Hey, I mean, Team Exploit during the previous game were just walking into Ascent and clicking heads. The attack was incredibly powerful, so maybe they still have something going on for them. Just like this one, the Breach fault line. Absolutely perfect. It stuns Battler, making him incapable of movement, and then the shot from the operator comes through. Soulmate with the spray, ready for more. A Shooter, he misses, but the Phantom is available for him, so he still has a contingency plan. And then the entire floor gets turned into purple goo as the stuns and the pulls come through. Everything is being put in by Shaka to save his teammates from certain death. And we've seen Shaka do this stuff before as well. You remember that one round where Shooter was in mid, he got suppressed and he couldn't dash back? Yeah, again, Shaka saved him by putting up a Nebula in place. And this time he does so again by making sure that Shooter stays alive towards ramps. So the coordination between Shooter and Shaka is incredible. He's keeping him alive for so long.
It's the 4th round. Now it's time for them to find something more for themselves. Soulmate. He has a forward position. Throws out his toxic glove. Bad lover time. This time around, he gets the punishment. He just get a dig, but he needs to run on away from this. He cannot take this engagement, not anymore. Show them the respect. Just run on away, take different positions. But Soulmate, he just does not care. He finishes off the job and takes out Smoker. And now Soulmate. It's all up to him. Just hold down the defense, hold it down strong, and hold it down tight. Do not give up any form of space. And that's exactly what they're gonna do.
The defense has to be tight. Team Exploit need to make things right, but for now, everything's going wrong. BO3 Esports is heading towards the A side, and there's nobody over there, nobody to defend. Finally, Shaka starts to move in that direction. There's a couple of tripwires placed in case they reach the side, and now that he's been spotted, Shaka will get one.
Spike down A.
At least he spotted the spikes, and now they can confirm this push. Cybergate is being put up just to cause a little bit of distraction. King's buying time, and he's done more than that. He forces Battle to move upstairs, and that's him dead now. Rio has to retrieve the spike from out in the open.
Left.
And there's not too much he can do about that. He's already used up most of his utility. Too much time for him to get his fault line, and not so much time until he dies.
Kill for kill.
But
It's happening.
it's
Rips.
happening.
5 and 5. Things are falling apart. And they're crumbling under the pressure.
We could see them crumble in the previous round as well. Remember that first frag that Shooter got in the previous round onto Bad Love? The stun from the breach was Rio. Yeah, he made that mistake. He stunned his own teammates. He caused his murder. So, yeah. Communication gaps from VO3 Esports starting to show through now. And because Shooter spotted him, because he saw that little orange orb around Badlove's head when he killed him in the previous round, he could clearly identify that VO3 Esports are starting to shake right now. But Smoke, he's shaking around. He's running and gunning with the Spectre. Jet will fly by, and he still can't get a frag, but Kill comes through to provide backup just in the nick of time. And now Shooter has a couple of stylish frags in his crosshair, but Soulmate will steal it from him. You're right, Aggie. Team Exploit are starting to bounce back over here.
And I expected this as well, because as soon as Team Exploit, they understand how their opposition is playing, they live true to their name, and they can exploit the kinks in their armor really well. 7 and 5 could be on the card, and then the hopes and dreams will be alive for all the members of Team Exploit. But for now, they cannot get overly complacent. They cannot underestimate their opposition, not just yet. Because if they do, weird, that one small mistake will cost them a lot.
Camera taken out.
You should run.
You can't jiggle it, not against Shooter. Just doesn't work. That man's reaction time is slower than 120 milliseconds.
Oh, look at the adjustment. Last time they used the lockdown, it was unsuccessful because Team Exploit put in suppressive utility which stopped them from coming into the site. Now, just to prevent that suppressive utility, they have the KO's null command. And even the Rolling Thunder is available. They're gonna push it even further, but HSB drops down. He's gonna be able to lock out
One enemy
Smoke,
remaining.
but the showstopper gets denied. Shaka now
In opposition.
in a little bit of a troublesome position. Yep, there you go. Rio's taken down, and that's the 7-5 half confirmed. Team Exploit bounced back, even though VO3
Team
Esports tried to counter-strat them.
It seems as though Soulmate's having a
Switching
little bit of
sides.
fun when it came down to his own accord, listening to the Zed music. But for now, at least on the 7 and 5 scoreline, you saw what happened in that last round. Weird lost full control as they were pushing into the site. They had absolutely nothing. They ran into the site just for the sake of it. They dumped all of their utility and they're like, boys, we have site control. But then 2 seconds later, Shaka's like, nope, you don't.
Yeah. And they even tried to counter-strat. Like, the whole KO activating his null command was specifically so that VO don't lock them out of the site using the suppressive utility. No nades, no boombots, no snake bites, nothing of that sort. But they still cannot win. They even had the Rolling Thunder. They invested it just to make sure that they have control of the defender spawn region. Not good. For Blind about to go through as the players of Team Exploit start to knock on the doors of B Heaven. And because Pixels is vulnerable, he dies instantly.
That's the first initial kill, but look at Badlove. Badlove! Oh no!
Party's over.
It's just me! Beautiful shot! What a kill! But still, Smoka's gonna be coming around the corner and making sure that Shaka doesn't find one more for himself, but still, the Danger are still alive. Soulmate and Shooter, this guy's duo is just that good, it's just that strong. One guy's already on the lurk. Please check the lurk, please check the lurk, Shooter! Stop looking behind him. This could just be really bad. Badlove's coming around the corner already. And Shooter, he's done the wiser. They're dead. Here comes Badlove. 3, 2, 1. He's missing out the shot. But someone gets a kill. Fine for now, at least. Just not gonna work. Someone needs to watch the flank. Shooter, you can't make that mistake. A rookie mistake will cost him. That's 7 and 6 on the scorecard. That's gonna be the first initial press round going in the favor of Weird.
They couldn't do in that situation either. Couldn't do much. I mean, there was only 2 people. One of them watches Defender entrance. One of them watches Heaven. Hopefully not get traded. Yeah, there was just simply no bandwidth for them to watch B main, and that's why the play worked. Even VO3 Esports were passive enough and patient enough to let that position from Badlove come into fruition, let him get to the apex of that position, and then they decide to hunt them all down at the same time. So, yeah, it seems like the communication gap in VO3 Esports is being filled in right now, but that void is a bit too big. Can they continue this one? Team Exploit also have a force buy. They want to stop this momentum right here, and it looks like it's going to be a no-nonsense B rush. It's not even a rush. They're silently walking in. It's a march. A slow march towards certain death. Pixels finds the kill onto HSB. No more shenanigans for him, but King is directly underneath.
Out of the
Chaka, he
charges.
does have a Bucky in his hand, and that Bucky could just sing the song of death for one of the players at the bare minimum, but sometimes the weapon is a one-shot, and in the other moments, it's just like one of those weapons you want to throw away in a matter of 2 seconds. Bucky is a Bucky! And Chaka just gives him a little bit of a tickle. Chaka's like, oh, hello there, I exist! And then just runs away immediately. But Bad Love, he knows for a fact what he's doing. And once again, Bad Love, how?
Last player standing.
Wait, what?
One enemy remaining.
He
Wait a
even tried to
minute.
dash in towards Pillar just to make sure that the element of surprise isn't lost. But now
they gonna win
Smokey, he's just being toyed around.
Are you
Yeah.
serious, King?
Yep, that's BM. That's disrespect right there. Batlov position, it was really good. First of all, him getting that frag onto Shaka was expected, but then he dashes in and gets the kill onto Shooter, which was crucial because Shooter was the one causing problems for his team. He's the one holding Pillar and constantly pre-firing the main defender entrance. That's why they were not able to get into the site, and they had to rely on the players on rafters to move inside. But after all that was dealt with, after Weird Esports had given up on rafters, after they were in the side already, it's just them getting toyed by the Cypher. He's placing his cameras, taking photos. Of course, he wants his enemies to smile before he kills them.
You know, like, I know for a fact there was a killer who did this all the time. I think it was, Scream?
Oh, wait, isn't that from a horror movie?
Yeah, Scream.
Ah,
So Scream always used to take a picture of his, picture of all of his victims and just keep it on his phone at all times. He used to have a flip phone where he just took a picture with them after killing them.
and we
That's
were
kinda
discussing
what-
horror movies just in the last map, so makes sense.
Yeah. So in that sense, the Cypher doing the exact same thing. King's just channeling his inner Scream. Not Scream from Team Liquid, but, you know, the Scream character.
Concealment.
Hey, he can turn into the Team Liquid Scream as well. He's been hitting nutty shots all day. Soulmate's just hitting something better, and Shaka catching so many players off guard over here. Pixels and Smokey had absolutely no idea they're about to get swung on. Shooting getting kills through the smoke. Of course, he doesn't need line of sight. He's got X-ray vision. And Bad Love, his Blade Storm getting denied like that. It's a bit sad, but Team Exploit have now taken the lead, and it's not that great, but 3 rounds difference is still pretty huge on a map like Split. Considering you're on the attacking side, those 3 rounds could be the key between life and death. Most people think that Split is a defensive-oriented map, so you need a little bit of buffer, and Team Exploit have that.
Team Exploit, they can easily push their lead even further if they just take a little bit more of a slower approach now. They've been going in fast consistently throughout all of their matchups, so now taking a little bit more of a slow approach to switch things up would pay them a lot of dividends, in my opinion at least. What do you think, Cribs? Because I feel as though they've been pressing their advantages way too much, and now with so many of the rounds being given away, I do believe that Weird, they're going to be prepared for it.
I agree with you, but I think there are certain
it's exploit.
implications.
It's
Yeah. Could be. I mean, if Exploit play it slow, they can't just hold and hope that Weird Esports make mistakes. They have to actively bait out stuff from them.
Yeah.
If Team Exploit are playing slowly, at least what they can do is pretend that they're pushing towards one side so that Team Exploit, they end up baiting all the utility out of Weird Esports, and Weird Esports run out of all their stuff. And then when the final push from Exploit comes through, Weird Esports have nothing to defend except for their guns and raw aim. You know, boil out the utility from Weird Esports. That's what Team Exploit need to do if they are playing passively. If they are not, well then, just, you know, do what you did on Ascent. Press W, click left click, and just click some heads. That's what Shooter's up to right now. Climbing up. Be Heaven, Pixels. What on earth was that?
Last player standing.
He's pulling off a shooter of his own. A triple kill from the Astra, and Pixels just decimating the entire round. Oh my lord, that was too quick.
This is why I sometimes say playing it slow is important.
Hey, but you can't really expect to have 3 people die in 1 second by one person.
Hello, shooter.
Yeah, Pixel's like, it's time we start calling his name out.
No. Pixels is like, oh, you've been talking about shooter? Hold my beer. The Pixels just
asking us
literally
to-
had a hold my beer moment.
Yeah, he's asking us to hold our mics.
You just hold the mic. Give it a second.
Oh,
I
but
I
the
think we
moment
gave
we
him a
say
little
it,
bit too much of a second.
yeah, Caster's Curse maybe comes real. The B side is getting crunched on by both Heaven and the main region, which means all the defenses over here are going to come crumbling down. Rio's good for one, so that's there. Other than that, nothing really will happen. Deadly's being offered a free 1v1 by HSP. There is a chance he could win it, but King comes in and saves him.
HSB's like, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, he survives on 8 HP, gets his gun, carries it forward in the next round. Doesn't have to reinvest, which means the economy on Team Exploit will now start to snowball out of control. On the side of VOD Sports, though, they're scraping together pots and pans. They have nothing but pennies and pocket lint. They have a couple of Phantoms, a couple of Vandals, but one Bucky onto Deadly 10. Turn it
I
into
don't know
a
how
judge.
much I like this buy, dude. You
I
know
don't.
why I don't like this buy currently right now? If they lose here, this is going on to 11, and on 11 they have nothing.
It's might go into 12.
Oh my god.
Yep.
What is happening in this round? So much utility, so much confusion. And that 0 point just absolutely decimated them. But King, how did you find that kill?
Just no line of sight. Pre-firing onto a spot. Got the kill onto Rio, and Rio was one of the more annoying players on the side of Team Weird. He was the one causing problems. Nice flash, but Soulmate still wins that engagement. He doesn't even take too much damage. Bad Love exploiting the timing over here, pushing through the Cloudburst when the time was right, and the Cyber Cage helps him out just to do that exactly well. But it's just Smokey left now. And 1v3, odds are against him. Luckily for him, he will be facing only one player in the site. The two remaining players are up there in Heaven, and the spike is not planted in a location from where the Heaven players can defend. But it doesn't even matter. Shaka doesn't even let him through the first checkpoint.
It's 11 and 7. 11 and 7, Crips. Tactical timeout being taken.
And we would need this tactical timeout. They tried contesting mid really hard. They dumped in so much utility, only to get suppressed later on. And as soon as Team Exploit realized that there's more than 3 people present on mid, they immediately rushed the hell back via sewers towards the A side, and they took it. They saw so much. I mean, they saw, first of all, the nade come in from... Wait, no, not the nade. The nade was from HPC, my bad. They first of all saw the Astra utility over there, which was already placed. They also spotted Bad Love in the region. They knew that Rio might be around if Bad Love's over there. The moment they figured out that the mid presence is pretty heavy from the side of Weird Esports, they decided to just get out of there.
They did not overcommit, and this level of discipline from them is one of the main reasons why they're able to take so many of the rounds against Weird. Now, you could ask yourself, what is Weird doing wrong in this situation exactly? And what can they do right to try and change the round and just bring it back in their favor? I think currently Weird, they're trying to over-aggress and not set up their crossfires as proper as they should. For example, I've seen in multiple different rounds, Bad Luck just go in for a swing all by himself. He gets a kill or he just dies. And then there's no other crossfire being set up. It's all individual performances unless someone performs to the individual degree. This is what I mean. They swing out without saying the 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, no countdown timer for you, no warning system, and I don't know about 1, 2, 3, but Soulmate's got 3 this time around. Shooter looking for the other 2. They tank the paint shells, and Smokey gets a free kill because of it. What kind of madman stays inside the paint shells and tanks the damage?
Match point.
Sometimes you just gotta tank it.
Yeah, at least he got 1 kill out of it, but that's pretty much it. And it doesn't do much to bump the economy of Team Exploit. They still have money for days, and there's not too many days left in Weird Esports. Their time is numbered over here, and they're running out of it. one last round, and that's going to be VO3 Esports out of the gauntlet. This is the lower bracket game, and they need to win so many rounds in a row. 5 to be precise in order to force this game into overtime, and then 2 more to force this game into bind, and a whole lot more if they want to stay alive. But it seems like VO3 Esports will be good for absolutely nothing in this round. HSB gets the frag onto him, even after his showstopper did not yield any results. And now a lockdown. This is probably their only hope, but it's revealed the position of Smokey. Now 2 people converging upon him. He's got one of those. Nade will force him back straight into the crosses of the player who's on site, but Soulman couldn't kill him, so it gives him another lifeline. 2 players detained. Luckily, Shaka still has his guns out. He can kill HSB and try to go for the defuse, but very soon those 2 players will be...
Oh, are you serious?
I'm serious, bro!
You cannot be serious.
Or, you know, what's left of it. Never said I would
Losing a
forget.
game is one thing, but losing it in this fashion,
No.
it's embarrassing.
I think that like TEAMXO just got in a weird side.
How is HSB allowed to survive this round? Like, take a look at that round objectively. His showstopper missed. Him and the Breach were both having an anime battle where both of them are not hitting their shots. So none of them did their job properly. And then he got detained. He should have died right there. But his opponents don't manage to check that angle. They just overlook him.
Let's just go into the match highlights.
My shoulders will be squeezed into my head if I keep shrugging like this. But that's just how this game has been.
Yeah, it's just been a shrug fest for both of us. We're just like, huh? Sure.
A
Why the
shrug
hell
fest
not?
and a frag fest from the players of TEAMXO because they've been hitting some nutty shots. So let's take a look at that. Let's rewind it and hit the highlights.
Okay, let's just disregard all of the weird things that were happening throughout the entire game and talk a little bit more about the strategic aspects. I will have to give it to Weird that a lot of their strategies really did come out on top, and TEAMXO, they could not overcome it with their raw mechanical skill. They started to play a lot more systematically and a lot more based upon team play and coordination above anything else. Initially, they were like, oh, maybe we can just fast rush everything and we can just take aim duels and we're going to be the ones to win out. No, that was not the case here. Weird, they made counter strats according to that, but the thing is, as soon as TEAMXO, they understood that, okay, maybe we just can't go in for the same strats as we did on the map of Zen. We need to start playing it a lot more differently. We need to be a lot more careful in the way they take our engagements. So as soon as Exploit switched up their strategies, then Weird started crumbling. They didn't know how to go up against a team that now started peeking them 3-man at a time. They were not going for 1v1 engagements at all. Every single fight that they were taking were based upon crossfires, and these crossfires allowed TEAMXO to just have full control, not over one single sideline, but multiple different sidelines all across the map. It just gives them so much control, but for Weird, they started breaking apart. All of the strategies that they were showing at the very start of the game were pretty much non-existent right up till the very end. What happened to them? That's what I don't really understand. Just look at this round. Pixels, what are you looking at, man?
Yeah, I have to point out 2 things over here. This round, where, Pixels was not able to get the skill and Shooter stayed alive, it was the coordination between Shooter and Shaka. Shaka always placing the stars and his astral utility to keep Shooter alive and safe in these situations. So that happened not just once or twice, it happened like at least 4 or 5 times. I distinctly remember there's one round where Shooter could not get away because he was suppressed and he was on mid, so the Nebula saved him. And it's not easy to place a Nebula right then and there in a couple of seconds when your jet calls for it, especially when you're doing something else already. That mental bandwidth does not exist on an average human being, but it does exist on the players of TEAMXO. But then later on, as the match progressed, we saw VO3 Esports start to crumble internally. I mean, their communications were starting to suffer. We saw that one round where Badlove got stunned by Rio. He got stunned by his own teammate Breach, and that resulted in the death of him. Shooter was able to get the frag onto him for absolutely free. There was another round where Rio's Rolling Thunder prompted that VO3 Esports will push down towards the B main region, and it resulted in all of their deaths because somehow TEAMXO, even after getting hit in the face with a goddamn earthquake, was somehow able to bounce back. And Rolling Thunder is literally one of the most powerful ultimates in the entire game. If you can survive that, and that's just very embarrassing. And of course, the final frag of the game. Second-hand embarrassment. That's even worse.
It just didn't look that good for Weird at all. 13-7 on the scorecards. A much more admirable scoreline, you have to say, from a 13-0. So I'll give them a round of applause for that. But is it really a good round of applause? No, not really. Soulmate, look at the scorecard as well. 20 kills, 279 ACS. On a Viper, mind you. One of the characters that pretty much should have the lowest ACS in the entire game. And barely like 10 kills. Because it's a Viper,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to get any frags.
Yeah.
You have to worry about putting your wall up, putting your toxic screen up. You need to worry about your toxin bites. So your aim's not going to be on point. But Soulmate, he doesn't give a damn. He's like, I'm the aim master. I'm the Viper master. Everything that I do is just second nature. I'm in my flow state, and my flow state will carry me forward. But on the other side of the spectrum, Bad Love, he tried his hardest, man. 18 kills for him, 229 ACS. The man tried, but it's just not enough. The KO was not able to pay dividends with the breach.
Yeah, the KO. I think the KO was actually doing some work because he was making Team Exploit a little uncomfortable with their setups. It was forcing them to reposition into angles which they're not comfortable with. But the breach was a massive failure. I think it could have done so much more. I'm not saying that the breach pickup was bad. Sure, the breach can pay off dividends in split, but the mistakes coming out from the fault lines and the stuns which were hitting your own teammates, that's just should not be happening. Those are rookie mistakes, and I think they need to correct them. Either way, Soulmate, he basically fragged out of his mind, not just in this map, even in Ascent, he was playing like a maniac. He had 10 kills in 3 rounds. Now that's a very scary statistic. So that's Team Exploit for you guys. They win in a pretty convincing fashion on Ascent 13-0, and then continue that dominant run towards Split. They win at 13-7. And they dispatch Weird Esports from the tournament. That's it. That's the end of their journey here in the TEC Gauntlet Season 3. And with that, let's take a look at what the brackets are like now and what lies ahead for our champions Team Exploit over here. They will be facing the loser of XO versus True Rippers. Now, True Rippers have already beat them once. If True Rippers lose against XO, this could be a potential rematch.
Hey, we're looking at a double rematch situation already. Tomorrow's games are going to be the upper bracket matches. Velocity versus Enigma, Team EXO versus True Rippers. And whoever comes down here will be pretty much a revenge story from both ends. If it's Enigma, it's Enigma versus Team Valor. If it's True Rippers, it's going to be True Rippers versus Team Exploit. But what I'm really hoping for is a match between Team EXO and Team Exploit instead. And I think you know why. Because both of these teams, they have a good amount of bad blood between them. And you know I love those spicy games.
Oh yeah, I think the spice is going to be a bit too much for us to handle, even by Indian standards tomorrow. So I request you all to tune in to tomorrow's games. You know where to find them. Same time, same place. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed what we are doing over here. Subscribe to the channel and also hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update. You always know when we are going live. And of course, down in the description below, check out the links to the products of these amazing brands: LG Ultragear, 6x6, Cosmic Byte, and Aimlabs. If you're thirsty, go ahead and grab a couple of Red Bulls too. The QR code always flashes on your screen every now and then. But for now, that's it from our side today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Good night, and keep gaming.
2, 3, let's go.